Hello everyone, I am Dr. G. Saubhagya, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Education from Karnataka State Akkamahadevi Women's University, Vijaypur. And I welcome you all for this second day national webinar which is conducted from our Department of Education. And in this session, I will be discussing on new education policy, what are the administration changes in educational institutions. So there are a lot of administration changes that has happened for in this new educational policy. So this new education policy was approved in a cabinet meeting which was chaired by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. And the education policy in India has changed after 34 years. That means almost 3 decades there are no changes. There are no policies that has been implemented. So the government has said that by 2035 it has set its target for 50% enrollment in higher education. And in this new educational policy, we can say that the major universities across the world will be able to build their own campus in the universities. So all over the world, they can have their own campuses if we look towards this new education policy or this national education policy. And the cabinet has approved the remaining of this HRD, which we call as it as an Ministry of Human Resource Development. It has been converted to the Ministry of Education. Means before in the year, we can say that in 1985, PM Rajiv Gandhi, he named it as an MHRD, that is Ministry of Human Resource Development. But after that 1985, it has remained as an MHRD. But this national education policy has made a draft saying that though there was so much of opposition and many people has not recommended to change the name that has been given by the then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi ji, but new education policy has given a new outlook there to say that rather than having an MHRD, we can say it as a Ministry of Education. So the decision to change this name also from MHRD to the Ministry of Education is in accordance with the recommendation to the draft, that is a new educational policy. And the new educational policy was formulated 34 years ago. That means in 1986 it has been formulated, and then from that there was no changes at all. There was a committee that was framed in the year 1990 and in the year 1993 to review the things. The main aim must be for India is to have an education system by 2040. That is second to none. If we take the all over world, they say that our new education policy has come up with saying that by 2040, the India should be the second, and with equitable access to the highest quality of education for all the learners, regardless of their social or economical background, whatever the social status may be, whatever the economic background of the person may be, but it has aimed that education should reach to all. So what are the administrative changes that has taken place in educational institutions? The first thing we can see that there is a recognizing, identifying and fostering the unique capabilities of each students. By sense, in order to make and recognition or identifying and foster the unique capabilities of the students, we need to sensitize the teachers as well as parents to promote each student's holistic development. If we say the holistic development, that is all over development. You can take the physical development, mental development, social development, spiritual development, the complete development of the child in both the academic matters and non-academic matters also. Then we should look towards the foundational literacy and numeracy by all students by grade 3. What is this foundational literacy and numeracy by all students? So this recognition of this foundational literacy and numeracy, it has become an urgent and necessary proportionate of learning. And this national education policy of 2020, what it has done is that it has set a goal of saying that national mission on foundational literacy and numeracy, which has been done by the MHRD, and it will prepare an implementation plan for attaining universal foundation literacy. And means what the MHRD or the Minister of Education is saying is that there should be an universal foundation of literacy and numeracy in all the schools for all the learners by grade 3 by the year 2025. So that is formulated by the National Bank Promotion Policy. Flexibility. Where we need the flexibility. In almost all the sectors, we need flexibility. Right from KG to PG, we need the flexibility. So the learners have the ability to choose their learning programs. They can choose their own paths in life according to their talents and interest. We cannot restrict the student to the particular field. the student has the flexibility to select their own paths, and they can decide what they want to do and where they want to set up their education, and where, and they can go for this. That kind of flexibility has been given in the national education policy, and there are no hard separations. What is this hard separations? Then when we say that there is no hard separations, it might be between arts and science, and between curricular and extracurricular activities, or between the vocational and academic streams. Why they have given that there should not be any separation between the arts and science or the curricular and co-curricular activities is means in order to eliminate the harmful hierarchies that has been existing in different areas of learning. Because many times we see that science students, they say that okay, we are more intelligent and we know many things, and art students say that what the science students know, we know the administrative skills, we know the life skills, all those things. Because if we ask the science students what is 2 plus 2, they come up with saying that it is 4. But when we ask to the art students, they make it as 2 plus 2 is 22. So in that way, that this new education policy has come up saying that there should be no any hard separations. Then next we look towards this multidisciplinarity and holistic education. So there is a holistic education across the science subjects, social science subjects, if we take even in the arts or humanities, and even in the sports. Multidisciplinary subject has come up in order to create and ensure the unity and integrity of all knowledge. So this policy has been made in broad-based multidisciplinary. So a broad-based multidisciplinary means they have given in flexibility curricula. So in curriculum there is flexibility is there, and creative combinations of subjects. So in the arts field, if you look towards the arts field, there is an separation for the arts subjects and science subjects and commerce subjects. But this new education policy or national education policy, what they have come up is that they have given an creative combination of the subject, and integration of vocational education is also there. And one more thing is that multiple entries and multiple exit points with appropriate certifications. We can say that what is this multiple entries and multiple exit means? UG education can be of 3 or 4 years with multiple exit and appropriate certification. For example, we can say that certification after 1 year. There is nowadays, now this new education policy has come with the 4 years of education. If they have done 1 year, they will give a certificate course, and if they have done 2 years, they will give advanced diploma certificate, and if they have done 3 years, they will give the bachelor's degree, and if they do it for 4 years, it can be called as a bachelor's with research after 4 years. Then an academic bank of credit is also be established for digital storing for the academic credits from the higher educational institutions, so that the credits can be transferred and counted for the final degree that is earned by the candidate. And multidisciplinary education and research universities in par with IITs, you can take these IITs, IIMs to set up in modules of the best multidisciplinary education for the global standards in the country. So there is an emphasis on conceptual understanding. So what is this conceptual understanding means? Rather than rote learning, learning for exams. So if you ask any particular individual nowadays, they have come up with learning for earning. That is the main thing that has been emphasized. Then the next we look towards this creativity and critical thinking. So we need to encourage the logical decisions making and innovation. There should be creative thinking and critical thinking also in both the fields. The new education policy has come up with so many changes. Then ethics and human and constitutional values. So what are these nowadays values are getting deteriorated. We can see that because of that also NCT has NCERT has come up with 84 values where they have to where each and every class of the subjects they have to come up with a moral education teaching about all these 84 values. Nowadays people lost those values also. So this new education policy has come up with the constitutional values, ethic values, and human values, where it speaks about more of empathy, respect for others, cleanliness, courtesy, or might be democratic spirit, where we speak of democracy, liberty, equality, justice, and fraternity. And spirit of service is also there, and respect for the public property. So, and we need the scientific temper also, responsibilities, all these values we need to inculcate. Then promotion of multilingualism and the power of language in teaching and learning. Where we need multilingualism, so we need it in teaching and learning. So even this will have an impact in the administration or in the educational institutions. The changes that the education institution has to go through is that multi languages introduction. So if we say that English now, before the 34 years back, we see that there was a set of languages school, Kannada medium school or English medium school or regional schools or like that it was there. So, but now what this new educational policy has come up is that in order to ensure the preservation, growth and vibrancy of all the Indian languages, National Education Policy has recommended setting as Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation, that is IITI, National Institute or institutions, we can say that, for Pali, Persian, Prakrit, strengthening of Sanskrit and all languages departments in higher education institutions also, and use of mother tongue, that is specially our local language as a medium of instruction in is more even in the higher educational institution programs. So we need to first a few years we need to teach the kid with the regional language or mother tongue or the local languages. Then you can go with both languages or regional languages and the national language. So this new educational policy has come up with say, using multilingualism, and there is an internationalization of education will also be facilitated for both the international institutional collaborations, and students and faculty mobility is also there, allowing to enter of the world top ranked universities to open the campuses in our country also. Life skills is also has been promoted by the new educational policy. Life skills means nowadays rather than going with the degree after degree, skills based has become a very important. Like skill based, we can say that communication skills also, cooperation, teamwork and resilience, these are the life skills. And there is a focus on regular formative assessment for learning. So rather than the summative assessment, we can say that the new educational policy is encouraging today's coaching culture, that is summative assessment. Then extensive use of technology. So in teaching and learning, in order to remove the language barriers, increasing in the access of divine student and educational planning and management, nowadays everybody is using the technology. So this technology helps us to integrate in all the levels of education, which will be done in the improvement of the classroom process also, and supporting teachers' professional development and enhancing educational access for disadvantaged groups. And streamline educational planning is also required in order to have a good use of technology even in administration and management also. Synergy in curriculum across all levels of education, from early childhood care and education to the school education to higher education. So from KG to PG, all levels, the curriculum has been set up in a different way. Now the education system has come up with 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. In that, right from 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, the curriculum has been changed. So what is school education governance? The school education governance means like what we can say, the schools can be organized into complexes or clusters, which will be the basic unit of governance and ensure the availability of all the resources, including, we can say that infrastructure, academic libraries, and strong professional teacher community. Nowadays, this new education policy has said that there should be a cluster in one area. One area, ಹತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಗೆ 10 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೋ ಅಥವಾ 50 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೋ, ಅದೇ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 10 ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್ ಕಲ್ತು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಇವನ್ ದ ಲೈಬ್ರರೀಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಅಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್. ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ the teaching community also good and well trained. And there should be standard setting and accreditation for school education also. This new education policy has said that there should be clear and separate systems for policy making, either for the regulations, operations, and academic matters. The state and union territories will set up an independent State School Standards Authority, SSSA, means transparent public self-disclosure of all the basic regulatory information as laid on by the State School Standard Authority, which will be used extensively for public oversight and accountability. And before this SCRT, like School Quality Assessment and Accreditation Framework through consultations with all the stakeholders. So if we have to make any changes in this school quality, we need to make in consultation to the stakeholders also what are the changes that we need to get in the educational systems. So even the stakeholders has got an opportunity to make some changes or to implement certain changes to bring in changes in the education systems. Now we'll look towards this higher education. Increases in GR, that means gross enrollment ratio in higher education, to 50% by 2035. This higher education is aiming to increase the enrollment ratio by the year 2035 at least the 50%, including the vocational education. So by 2018, we can see that the vocational education grade was 26.3% to 50%. And we can make in this one by 2035, we can see that 3.5 crores new seats will be added to the higher education institutions. And the regulation body for this educational institutions, Higher Education Commission of India, will set up as a single overarching umbrella body for entire educational higher education, excluding medical and legal education. So in this Higher Education Commission, we cannot take this medical education or legal education. It has 4 independent verticals. That first one is that National Higher Education Regulatory Council for regulations and General Educational Council for standard settings. In order to make any regulations, they have to consult this National Higher Education Regulatory Council, and for the standard setting, General Educational Council is there. And for fundings, we need to consult Higher Education Grant Council. Before we used to consult for any grants, we used to consult for the University Grant Commission. Now they have changed it to Higher Education Grant Council. And the last thing is that NAC Accreditation Council for accreditation of each and every university. This is the setup of higher education. The rationalized institutional architect is that higher education will be transformed into a large and well-resourced, vibrant, multidisciplinary institutions, providing high-quality teaching, research, and community engagement. Now it has made an different sectors like research institutions will be separate and teaching institutions will be separate, and autonomous degree granting colleges will be separate. Before days, we used to see that everything was mixed up. Even in the regular teaching institutions also there was a research, and even in the autonomous degree granting colleges there was a research and teaching. Everything was there. But this new education policy has changed that there should be a separate range for research intensive universities and teaching intensive universities, and even for the autonomous degree granting colleges. Then affiliation of colleges is to be phased out in 15 years, and a stage-wise mechanism has to be established for granting graded autonomy to the colleges. So affiliation of the colleges, so in the next 15 years, this new education policy has set a goal saying that the new mechanism has to be established for the graded autonomy. Means over a period of year, we can say that every college will develop into either an autonomous degree granting college or a constituent college. If we say that autonomous degree granting college means there won't be any private or unaided institutions. Every institutions will be turned out to be either an autonomous degree granting college or in constituent colleges. So everything will come up under the government sectors only. So professional education, all professional education will be an integral part of the higher education system. So nowadays it has come up with standalone technical universities and health science universities. Legal and agricultural universities will aim to become an multidisciplinary institution. So the school education setup is different, this higher education setup is different, and this professional education setup is different. This new educational policy has brought so many changes in the educational system. In the next few years, we can see that all the implementation is going to take place. Now the government is working rigorously to bring out a huge changes in this educational policy, because if we look back since from last 34 years, we have seen that there was no changes in the educational policies. 1986 educational policy was existed till the implementation of this 2020 educational policy. So I hope you had a good time and you enjoyed the session. Thank you.